You said this would be your year, but you played around and now December's here. You said that you're tired of sleeping, but you close the shutters when the sun starts creeping in. You must be one of those dreamers. Today I'll be talking about what feelings and emotions that quote from a song evokes. I'll be talking about New Year's resolutions. A very appropriate topic for the end of the year. How many of you just cringed internally when I said the word New Year's resolutions? I know I usually do. And for some reason, all of us have at one point in our lives felt that fear, that anxiety, perhaps that anger, definitely that frustration of remembering what we have tried to do, what we have perhaps failed to do, and every once in a while we remember, hey, there was that one year when I actually did accomplish something. And I find this kind of interesting that people make New Year's resolutions, but oftentimes you get to the first, second week of January, you're still in it, you get to the end of January, maybe you've failed a couple times, and you think, you know what, I can still keep it going. By February, you're pretty much off the wagon. End of March, you don't really remember what your resolution was, and July, you don't even remember if you were making a resolution that year. So there's something wrong here, right? But we do know that there's inherent value to having New Year's resolutions. And I'll be talking about this journey rather than looking for the destination. There's a problem here. We want to have the satisfaction of accomplishing New Year's resolutions, but the tool itself is not very conducive to building that accomplishment. So what's the solution? My solution to you is to build habits every month. That's the one takeaway I want you to have from today's speech. Build habits every month. And I'll be talking about the how of how we get to this level of accomplishment and the why it's important. Resolutions are not the same things as accomplishments. Let me just lead with that a little bit. If you remember what you accomplished this past year, if you try to recall, what are the things that I'm proud of this year? More than likely, I can guarantee you, it has nothing to do with what you actually resolved to do in the previous year. There are things that get in the way. Life changes, your views change, maybe you pick up some interesting sport or activity or hobby that you're suddenly proud of, and all that stuff from the past tends to kind of fade away. So why are the concepts of resolutions important at all? Resolutions are important because they form habits. We all should want to form habits. We know they're good for us. We know that if we want to be that person owning that house or driving that SUV or retired in Jamaica at 50 man, that we have to have good habits in order to get there. We have to have a plan. We have to have steps. We don't see ourselves just accomplishing something and then backing off and being lazy. We want to accomplish something and be that person who accomplished it for the rest of our lives. We need to embrace this concept of habits. And it's not a matter of how many times you repeat it. There are studies that say, well, if you do something for 21 days straight, you will have formed a habit, or 25 days, or a month, or a year, or 2 weeks. It really doesn't matter how long it takes. What it matters is how long it takes for it to become a habit to you. How long does it take for it to just become an inherent part of your being? Because some habits are harder to form or to break than others. If you've smoked for 20 years in your life, you're not going to stop smoking in 21 days, more than likely. And if you try and fail, does that mean you give up and it's not going to work out for you? If you want to pick up archery and be Katniss Everdeen, that's not going to take 21 days to form that habit. So a personal example of habits that I formed this year, which I had no resolutions to form in the previous year. I didn't wake up on December 31st of 2014 and think, this is my goal for this year, this is what I'm going to accomplish. But looking back, what I've accomplished is I've actually made my mornings kind of better. And I didn't realize that I was really working on this until about halfway through the year. I started work just the previous year. I was figuring out what time I want to come into work, what time I want to go to sleep, what I want to do before I go to work, what I want to do as the first thing that I do when I come into work, all that kind of stuff. And over time, I realized there are a lot of things that I wanted to change and to move around to make my mornings much more productive. One of these was shower time. I realized that the way that I wake up is I take a shower. And usually the first 5 minutes of it is just me standing there like this. And just having the water hit me on the face and wake me up and get the blood flowing in my brain. And someone suggested to me, well, why don't you just brush your teeth while you're doing that? There's not a lot of brain activity that's required to do this. Why don't you also shave? And so I started doing that, and that cut off some shaving and teeth brushing time in my morning routine. That's just a little, and that was not something that I did immediately. That was something that formed over time. Exercising. I used to hate exercising in the morning. I've been going to the gym with a couple friends for probably 4 or 5 years. We went to the gym once or twice in that 4 or 5 year time period, and it sucked. Because when you get used to doing it in the evening, your body's not ready for it in the morning. But slowly over time, I've gotten it sort of used to doing stuff in the morning, and I'm really happy about that, and it's still a work in progress. Eating more healthy, eating regularly, productivity as you walk in, those are all things that I've started to work on and I'm still working on as part of my morning routine. So that's something that I wanted to share with you as my ongoing accomplishment in terms of not a resolution, but a habit. And what this really leads to is mindfulness of your goals. If you're thinking about this constantly, if you're doing small things to build towards a habit, you get to a point where you figure out and walk towards what your goals in life actually are. So that's the why. We want to build habits. Now, how do you actually do it? There are many ways of doing this, and I've kind of mentioned a few. My main suggestion to you that I want you to take away is to do it every month. Pick something that you want to do regularly. Try it for a month. Don't think, I need to do this for a year. Every month is going to be a struggle and a challenge. Pick a small incremental step that you want to take every single month and try it. See what happens. Maybe you'll realize, hey, this is really good, I want to keep it going. Or you'll realize, wow, I want to do this, but I'm nowhere near the level of doing this. Another personal example. In the act of trying to exercise more, I decided that I was going to try to take the stairs up. And I know there's a couple people here, Wes, who climb the stairs regularly up and down. And the first couple days, I just tried to climb up the stairs in the morning. And it took me about 10 minutes just to get to work from the lobby, which normally takes 30 seconds. So I decided, I'm going to start by taking the stairs down at the end of work every day. And then the next month, I took the stairs up. And then the next month, I decided I would start taking the stairs up twice a day. And then after that, I actually went on a hike and decided, this is not a goal that's important for me anymore. And I started switching to something else. But this lets you actually adjust what your goals are. I didn't have to put in my mind this huge goal of, I'm going to climb the stairs every day of this entire year. It's something that I could adjust and change over time. Another example from just my morning routine is brushing my teeth in the shower took about 2 months. It's kind of embarrassing, but I just could not get used to the taste of the toothpaste in my mouth with all the other stuff going on. But over time, I was able to get to that level of being able to optimize my morning in some sense. A couple next steps that I'm working on that maybe you'll see me. I'm going to try to go and start going to the gym in the mornings. One thing that I am very happy about is going to play volleyball in the mornings, which is something that I actually did this morning. And it worked out pretty well, except for one thing. I forgot to bring my belt to work, so I'm without a belt today. But something to keep working on. Small steps. And I have some suggestions for you if you want to talk to me afterwards. If you're interested more in this, I would love to talk to you about what habits you want to form, what goals you might have, and how we can go about getting there. Because really, that monthly time period, I think, is a good piece of the year, piece of your day, to get focused on what habits you want to form. Build habits every month. January 1st is coming. And on January 1st, when you wake up in the morning or afternoon or perhaps in the evening, I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to be able to get up, and I want you not to feel that fear, that anxiety, that frustration. I want you to feel accomplishment from what you were able to do the previous year. I want you to feel excited about what you can do the next year. I want you to have this tool for success, and I want you to be successful. Why? Because it's worth it. Because you're worth it. Every month. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.